As the title of this video implies, I'm doing leftover brisket. And the reason I'm doing that, I get comments all the time, like when I use leftover brisket for like grilled cheese sandwiches, brisket enchiladas, just whatever, brisket this, brisket that. And people always say, oh, leftover brisket, I didn't know there was such a thing. There's no leftover brisket at my house ever. You know, I'm like, yeah, right, okay. You just keep believing that if you want to. So it aggravates me so bad, I had to do a video and just call it leftover brisket. And the reason I'm doing that, because this brisket is for future videos in the future. So when I use it, it will be leftover brisket, guaranteed. Don't pay no attention to this thing right here. This is actually for another video. This is a power station from Blue Eddy, and I am powering up the old hickory for that video, and I'm doing this entire cook with that, and I'll also be charging phones, charging computers, kind of multitasking with this just to see how well this does. So be sure to see that video. It might come out before this video and it might not. Either way, check it out when it does. So we're looking at right at 16 pounds of brisket. It's like 15.72 pounds. And I don't trim as aggressively as a lot of people do, but I do in fact get rid of a lot of this hard fat. Now I'm sure most of you watching this have seen briskets trimmed over and over again, so we're not going to highlight on that a whole lot. I'm basically just removing these big pockets of fat right this minute. I've got this hard fat right here. Gonna do it the same way. All right, we're really thin over here on this side, so I'm just gonna go ahead and kind of cut this around, get rid of some of this thin stuff. All right, that's looking pretty good to me. Like I said, I'm not that picky with it, and it looks to where I probably got 4, maybe 5 pounds of fat laying there. All right, so like I said, this is leftover brisket before we ever make it, and our first leftovers is all this right here. We're going to put this in a Ziploc, get all the air out, pop it in the freezer, and this will be used in sausage on my next sausage adventure. We're going to first go on with some Worcestershire. Worcestershire. Right, now normally I mix them two together, the mustard and the Worcestershire, but today I'm in a bit of a hurry, kind of, sort of, so I'm just putting the mustard right on top of that. Make sure you rub your sides real good with it. All right, now the first thing I'm putting on, this is by John Henry. This is a Mojave garlic rub right here. And I'm just putting a base layer on here. I don't want to go super heavy because I'm going to have salt in my other rub. I'm just starting it with this. This is almost like a salt, pepper, garlic with the addition of a few other seasonings. Smells really good. And this one comes from Suckle Buster's 1836 rub. Great stuff. That's what I'm doing. I'm gonna go ahead and do my edges and the back side, and I'll bring you back so I don't bore you. And we'll get this thing on the pit. It's still warming up over here to my left, by the way. I've got a few people I want to thank. I want to thank D.H. Fleming for sending out this Tennessee plate. And he also sent me another Tennessee plate right up here. Now, Bo is another guy that I know. He actually has a little YouTube channel. He hadn't done a lot with it lately, but he sent me an Alabama plate, and this is a very cool plate. It's right behind me here, Alabama, and down at the bottom it says amateur radio. It's got a big antenna right here, and I did not know this about Bo, but he is a storm chaser. Man, I would love to have done that at some point in my life. I really get into that, watching videos on that. So he's heavily into it, And that's why he got into amateur radio, because he loves storm chasing. And thank you, Bo. I appreciate that, man. I know that's a one-of-a-kind tag, and I appreciate you giving it to me. Also, I have Frank Morello. Now, he sent me a couple of tags a couple weeks ago. You might remember the Montana plate with the Crow Tribe and all the other Montana plates. Well, he sent me 2 more plates. At one point in time, he lived in New York. Here is that plate. And something I didn't know about Frank, but he's a huge Elvis fan, and so am I. Man, I was born, raised on Elvis. I mean, we watched all the movies, listened to all the records. Got to see him live, and I think the year is 1975, I think. The year I seen him, about a year before he passed away. But he's got an Elvis plate, Montana. He's actually got an Elvis 1 plate and an Elvis 2. He sent me the Elvis 2 plate. So thank all of y'all again. I appreciate it, man. I tell you what, I've had a lot of people sending me plates here lately, and I just can't thank y'all enough. Much appreciated. All right, we are good. So I'm gonna open this up. Pull our rack out. That should be plenty. Let's grab this brisket, and I want to go point forward, or towards the back actually, where the heat comes up. The heat comes up the back, so you can count on it being a little bit hotter on the back end. That's a pretty long brisket. I want to see how much it shrinks. They normally shrink half the size, just about. All right, let's slide her in. So you know, we're cooking this low, 225. We're going overnight. It's 8:30 p.m. at night. We're gonna put this thing to sleep and let her cruise all night long. Now, I'm not going to bed probably till midnight, and I will spritz this as I need to. I will check on it, probably not for at least 2.5, 3 hours. And at that point, I will spritz it, but I'm not gonna be up all night to spritz this. So hopefully it turns out good. We'll see you tomorrow. Well, we are in the next day, and this thing is still running, been running. The actual pit's been running for 15 hours. We had to run it an hour to heat it up, make sure everything's up to temp. And we did just add some smoke wood, and we're not putting any more after that. This thing has already gotten 14 hours of smoke. That's gonna be plenty of smoke. Open her up. Looking good. Looking real good. So while I got it open, let's go ahead and let's just probe and see what it's looking like. It's starting to get some tenderness to it. That's 169, right at 170 there. Let's see what the flat's doing. The flat still got a long way to go. 157. It's catching up to it. So we still got a long way to go. This is probably gonna be this afternoon before this brisket's done. Like I said, I did turn it. The point's here and the flat's here. So we're gonna close her up, let it keep rocking. I wanna thank ThermoPro for sponsoring this video. If you're in the market for a good instant read thermometer, they have a lot to choose from, including this one. This is a TP620. Love this thermometer. Also had the Lightning. I've got a variety of different ThermoPro products, but if you're in the market for any of those, check out the link in the description box and you'll get exclusive discounts using my code. All right, let's take a look and see where we're at. We should be getting really close. If we're not even there, we'll see. Oh boy, look at that. Oh man, you've seen how easy that went through. That's the beauty. This is not even 200 degrees and it's going through like butter. That's the beauty of going low and slow. It gives it time to really break down the connective tissue, and you don't always have to go to 205 or 210, but it does take an extremely long time. All right, let's get jiggy with it. Heck yeah. Give her a good wrap here. I want to double wrap this, just for kicks and grins. Turn the pit off. And I want to put this right back on the pit. And we're just gonna let this thing hang out in here for about 1.5 to 2 hours. The temperatures, well, I'm losing a lot of heat right now, but there's heat inside of the pit. So this is gonna hold it at a low heat. When I say low heat, here in just a little while, it should level out at about 140, and it'll hold that through the whole 2 hours. So this can actually be a good holding oven for 2 or 3 hours. So, well, I said I was gonna rest this for 1.5 hours. It's been 2.5, going on 3 hours. So still piping hot too. Go ahead and get this thing unwrapped. Ooh, yeah, you can see the steam coming off of it. I probably could have let that go another 1.5 hours, 2 hours, who knows. Put this over here on the cutting board. So our grain is running kind of at this angle here, so I don't want to cut straight across. I'm gonna cut right here. And keep in mind, I'm using this for leftovers, so what I'm gonna end up doing is once I get this back to my house, I'm actually going to chop most of this flat, and I'm gonna slice this. Of course, we're gonna try a little bit today. Let's see what we look like here. Look at that.
Orange juice.
Oh man. I tell you what, Derek, I got a big old chew of Copenhagen. I'm gonna get you to come over here and do the taste test. All right, so I'm gonna cut you a slice right here. I think we're pretty much spot on, dude. It's cutting good. It's not really wanting to fall apart. All right, come over here and have at it. All right, big boy, give it a try.
All right.
All right, first I want you to take and...
Ooh, that's hot.
Yeah, it's hot. Pull it up in front of the camera and see how it pulls. Oh yeah.
I mean like butter.
I already know what it's gonna taste like, man.
Smell.
Good. Heck yeah.
I'm gonna tell you what. I do a lot of cooks. I'll cook with that old hickory, and I've yet to be disappointed. That is the real deal. I mean, it really is.
It is. It amazes me the difference compared to my other smokers. Not that they don't do a good job, they do. They actually do, but this is different. I'm telling you, it's just different.
Not to mention the simplicity of it. We loaded it up last night and we went to sleep.
Yep.
Now I did wake up at 1 a.m. just come out here and add another log to it and just check on things, and then checked it again at 5 a.m. this morning when I woke up.
Yeah.
But that's how simple it is.
Yeah, it's old school technology, 49 years old technology, and I'm super happy to have it. And let me tell you this bottle, we got a 20-pound bottle of propane that we just got the first cook. We're on our 5th cook, and you have cooked on how many times, and there's still about 1/4 of that tank left, so it's super efficient on gas. And the wood, golly, we might have used 2 quarter splits on this entire 18-hour, almost 19-hour cook. So efficiency, you're not gonna beat that anywhere.
No, you're not gonna beat it. And talking about that fuel, because I've been locking it inside of a book just for these purposes. That way when we do an update review, we can tell y'all.
Yeah.
But right now we're right around 63 hours on it. And
yeah, altogether, total.
there's still a lot more.
And there's still probably enough gas in there for another 10 to 12 hours, is what I'm guessing. So anyway, this is getting colder by the minute. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. And like I said, this is a leftover brisket. If you didn't know what that was, now you do. I cooked a leftover brisket with intentions to do nothing but leftovers with it. Before long, in a couple of weeks, I'm doing brisket enchiladas. I've done that video already. I'm going to revisit that with some of this. Hope y'all enjoyed the video. I'm Russ Jones.
I'm Derek Jones.
We are Smoky Ribs Barbecue.